Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I have an amazing video for you guys today. We are going to be talking about the most undervalued housing markets in the United States. Now, this is a great article. This is from US News, and they're basically talking about uh, the difference between tenants and landlords in different housing markets. Now, as you could figure it out, the most affordable housing market right now is Detroit, right? Now, in this article, it talks about how basically, here, let me scroll right here. Let me just read this paragraph for you so we all know. According to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, households should avoid spending more than 30% of their gross monthly incomes on a place to live. That means less money left over for the rest of life's necessities and emergencies. While that 30% rule may not apply to households with higher incomes and lower debt in areas such as Atlanta or Dallas, it is still a useful formula to rank the country's most undervalued housing markets. Now, when we go up here, let me scroll up here. When we go to the hottest markets, right? Basically, homeowners are paying 67% of their income is going to their house, principal and interest, and renters are paying up to 58% uh, of their income to rent that property. So you can see how that's it's you're not going by the rule. It's like pretty much over double what you should be paying to have a, I guess, what I would say, quote unquote, healthy lifestyle, if that's even a thing anymore. But yeah, so yeah, because you want to be able to not just like be house poor basically, or all your money goes to pay for your house. You want to do things, you want to be able to have a little bit of freedom to enjoy other parts of life, not just be stuck in your house paying it, right? Well, anyways, there is other areas that are way below 25% for buyers, for homeowners, and 27% for rent. And if you scroll right here, here is the list. Basically, Detroit coming in at number 1, Cleveland number 2, St. Louis number 3, Philadelphia number 4, and Cincinnati coming in at number 5. Now check this out. If we scroll right here and we look at the top, basically 20, we have Dallas coming in at 20, Jacksonville's in there at 19. So there's a bunch of Florida cities, Columbus, Ohio. I mean, there's some nice cities here, guys. Oklahoma City coming in at number 8. I hear Oklahoma City's really nice. And there's decent jobs there. Again, it's all about, where the jobs are. Here we have Houston, the Woodlands of Sugarland, 12 coming in at 12. That's amazing. That is great, great news. Now, if we scroll down, it gives us some more charts and stuff. If we scroll down, we go to the renters. Now, the renters is a little bit different. Check this out. Omaha, Nebraska, St. Louis, Cleveland, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis coming in at number 5. So if you want to save some money, look, I think buying a house is a huge investment. Okay, I think it's one of the best things you can do if you haven't bought a house. And if you are renting obviously, if you're renting right now, and you have the ability to possibly work from home, it wouldn't be a bad idea to move to a low rent area, right? That you could rent something so you could have higher standard of living, right? Like what you can afford in LA or New York, with that kind of money. Imagine if you were to use that in Omaha, Nebraska, you would have the nicest house in the block, right? So you could basically have higher standard of living, but at the same time be saving money. So when you are ready to buy a house, you can buy it, right? Because that's the key. Now there's a bunch of cities here that are way below the median. Here, look, San Francisco, Oakland, Hayward. Yes, that is because the jobs pay a lot, but you need to have a really good job for some of these cities. Obviously, San Francisco, you're gonna need those tech jobs. Some of these cities are like Seattle, for example. I mean, some of them you're gonna need professional jobs, right? But again, if you're working from home and you find a city on this list, you could rent and save up, right? Because you're gonna be basically living below that 30% threshold that the government thinks it's safe for us to be in. I just don't. A lot of people, I think a lot of people are forced to get into a house that really stretches their budget, and what ends up happening is I think it's a good look. Whether you're paying too much for a house or not, or too little for a house, to me it doesn't really matter, because the key for me is that you get into a house and you start building that investment, right? Now, it's just going to be a stress level. Some people have to live in that really fancy neighborhood, and they're going to basically do whatever it takes to get into that private community. And you know what I mean? And maybe they'll have a good year at work, and they just, get to the banks and basically tell the banks that this is how much they always make, even though it was a little bit exaggerated for that one year. But they get into these homes, they get a loan, and yeah, they do it. But it's a struggle, like everything. Now, some people decide to, buy something that's more affordable, right? And it's still in a nice neighborhood, obviously nice school districts. It's a key, but maybe not the most expensive house. And then you still have to work, but at least you get to enjoy a little bit of other parts of life, because, as much as in this country, we love money, we love making a lot of money. Because I think at the end of the day, to have a nice balanced life, you need to be able to enjoy a lot of different experiences, not just work and pay, your mortgage and never go out, because never be able to enjoy anything nice because you're sitting there, trying to make that mortgage payment every month. Okay, check out this metrics. It's owning versus renting, and it's basically telling you what is the best cities where owning is a lot better than renting. And Detroit, again, coming in at number one, Philadelphia number two, here it is, Cleveland number three, Chicago number five, and Miami number four. So what this is basically saying, Miami's getting expensive, but what this is basically saying is that you are going to be paying like 10% less, like on Detroit, 10% less if you own than if you rent. When you go to places like New York City, obviously buying is so expensive that, it's almost better to rent, only because the people that own those properties, like in those buildings, they've owned them for a long time, and they're only going to sell to the highest bidder. So they end up renting it for lower than it would cost to buy. But in these cities right here, it's still looking like it is better to buy than to rent. So think about it. Look, Miami's up there. That's a big city. You got Cape Coral, Fort Myers, another Florida city. We got Tampa, Florida coming in again, Atlanta, St. Louis. So there's a lot. If you're in these cities, you're definitely encouraged to be buying right now, because you're losing money if you're renting, because you could basically buy the house, right? And then rent it for the same amount of what for basically for a little bit more than what your mortgage is, and then you would be making money. So this is what drives investors. I mean, people are looking at this chart saying, hey, why not buy a few properties in Detroit and rent them out? And, you're making that percentage every month from the owning versus renting. And that's what people do, basically. Now, personally, I think that overall, it looks like the market is going sideways. If we jump over to Redfin weekly housing market data here, punched in Detroit, this is the median sale price. Prices are dropping quite drastically right here in Detroit. Okay, guys, if we jump over to Zillow and we punch in Detroit, you could just scroll down over here. Look at this. This is pretty insane. Look how this big house for only $150,000. This is a 3,000 square foot. This, I would say, it's got no way, Jose. It's too much work. And you know what? For 3,000, you could probably turn this into like a bed and breakfast if it's by a nice neighborhood or something. But the truth is, just looking at all the repair that would have to go into this, it will probably cost you way over $150,000, because that's a lot of square footage. And then, but you know what? If you keep scrolling, look, this is a lot smaller house, but look, ready to go, completely redone for $285,000. Can't beat that price, man. Not even Texas can beat this. No, I'm just kidding. Texas has some great prices. But yeah, so go ahead and check out, look at this, 164,000, and look how nice it is inside. 1,500 square foot. It's, it's a smaller, on the smaller side, but you get a whole basement and everything looks super clean. And look how nice that neighborhood looks. You know, man, I'm telling you, sometimes it's better to take advantage. Look at that neighborhood. Looks pretty nice, looks pretty safe. You know, and it looks like downtown's down there somewhere. Very cool. Okay, guys, so very check out Detroit, man. Check out Detroit. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you guys find any nice properties there, and go ahead and comment down below. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Oh yeah, if you do like my videos, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and go ahead and like and leave a comment. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.